afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Powered by Joy. What's new at TravelJoy Spring 2026? My name is Caitlin. I'll be your host for today. I am joined in the audience by a few friendly faces from the Joymaker team. We have Lenore, Chelsea, Heather, and Marissa. They'll be hanging out in the questions tab to help provide answers as we move through today's session. We also have a few special guests who will be joining us along the way. Our CEO and co-founder, Daya, Claire and Devin from our engineering team, and Heather from the Joymakers will also be joining us on screen throughout today's session. Now, before we begin, I'd like to go over some light housekeeping for today's webinar. Number one, this webinar will be recorded and sent to you by email following the conclusion of today's event. If we go a bit too fast, not to worry, you'll be able to review the recording later at your own pace, and this recording will also feature the questions tab and chat box from today's session. You'll also have access to all resources shared. Nearly all of the updates you'll see today also started as advisor feedback. This also includes feature requests. We love hearing your ideas. They shape everything we work on, and the best way to share them is by emailing us at hello@traveljoy.com, and we're happy to get that conversation started with the team from there. So take your notes and then send us an email so we can capture it all. The third thing is you'll notice that we have a questions tab open, and questions are welcome. To submit a question, please use the questions tab just below the chat box. We're expecting a very large crowd today, so we request that all questions be asked in the questions tab only, as questions asked in the chat tab may get lost quickly. We'll try our best to ensure that you receive an answer to your question today. However, if we're unable to get to everything in the allotted amount of time, please feel free to reach out to us utilizing the blue chat button in the bottom right-hand corner of your TravelJoy account, or email us at hello@traveljoy.com. All right, let's get started. Everything you'll see today really comes back to one idea: our mission as a company, bringing the joy back into travel planning. Over the past few months, we've spent a lot of time thinking about what it actually means to have your workflow be powered by joy. That's meant improving tools that you use every day so that they're faster, more intuitive, and cut out as much busy work as possible. It also means making sure that if you're collaborating with a team, everything works together seamlessly. Now, to kick things off, I'd love to welcome one of the people who has been driving that mission from the very beginning. Please join me in welcoming our CEO and co-founder, Daya.
Thank you, Caitlin. So good to see everybody. Love the activity going on in the chat. And before we get into the demos, I want to revisit the story of why we're here. And Matt, our head of marketing, did some sleuthing, and unfortunately he found my high school marching band photo. And yes, we were the Highlanders. We wore kilts, and you can see my Glengarry. We had the whole thing going on. And so in case you don't know, I'm Dio Esho, co-founder, CEO of TravelJoy. I actually grew up in the travel industry supporting my mom's travel agency. And I want to take you all the way back to freshman year of high school. And my marching band, 200 strong, we're taking 5 buses on a 7-hour bus ride to Vegas for a competition. And the bus smells like the bathroom permanently. It's just how it was. And we practice in the casino parking lot. And we stay at the bungalows in that same casino parking lot. And the AC barely works. And, you know, our band director, he was very inspiring, but he was not a travel advisor, clearly. And the next year, my mom took over, thank God. And one day after practice, a few months before the trip, my band director was explaining to all of us how my mom had just upgraded the whole thing. Brand new buses, new hotels. She found us a state-of-the-art practice facility. So no more of those drills in the parking lot. And she saved the band a bunch of money in the process. And there was this magic moment where he just shouts, "We now have suites." And I still remember it. All 200 of us band kids, we just lost our minds. And that's why I tell this story. Travel advisors matter. You take something that could be subpar and you turn it into something magical that kids like me will remember and be inspired by 20 to 30 years later. So much so that they start a company around it. My mom did that in one marching band trip. And that's why we started TravelJoy, to enable more travel entrepreneurs to create travel magic with less of the busy work that gets in the way and more of that travel magic that you are so critical to. Today, you're going to see over 25 ways dozens of ways that we are cutting that busy work. You'll see how we're connecting your tools and your team to save even more time. And I will jump back in and might have a little surprise at the end to share how we're enabling you to create more travel magic and where we're headed next. All right, back to you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Dio. All right, folks. Now, getting started on our demos. Over the past few months, our team has been very intentional about the features we've released, focusing not on only some of the most requested updates from the TravelJoy community, but also on ways to help advisors cut down the busy work and save time in their day-to-day. Now, today, we're excited to walk you through a few of those updates and show you how they can help simplify your workflow, streamline how you manage your business, and ultimately give you more time to focus on your clients. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can jump right in. And I can't help myself with the GIFs in the chat. They're too fun. Alrighty. So we are going to start off with one of our first updates that highlight how you manage and access your client information. Now, we know that having a reliable place to store details and being able to quickly find what you need can save you time and reduce busy work in your day. So to show you the newest updates to client management, I'm going to head to a trip that I've already created for our friend Jane Doe here. And the first tool that I want to highlight is this sidebar. So if you've been with TravelJoy for a while, you may have remembered when this was just a singular rectangle button where you could click it and open up your client's profile. But that's one extra click that you now have to do in order to get the information that you need. You may need to sort through a few tabs. We have all the information that you typically need to complete any work with your suppliers in this sidebar now. So it pulls those details from your client's profile card. Let me make this just a little bit bigger, get our little chat bot out of the way if we can. Looks like he's stuck there. But you can see all of those details that you've saved to your client's profile, so you can easily copy them and use them however you need to. We also have another exciting update here. If you click into the actual client profile, which you can still do from this box, you now have the ability to upload files into your client's profile card. So we're going to look for that Files tab just below the Payment Info tab. And as you can see, I've already uploaded Jane's scuba certification. So this is something that's good for me to have long-term. Maybe she's got a few different beach trips coming up and she wants to be able to use that certification for some scuba activities or excursions. Now, you can use this tab to store information you'll need long-term for your clients. You still have the trip files tab for anything that you need to upload for the trip specifically. But again, if you need to keep something long-term for your clients that you can access easily in the future, this is the way to do so. And just as a little reminder here, we don't recommend storing credit card details in this tab. Unfortunately, they can't be stored here, but we do still have the ability to collect credit card authorizations securely through credit card authorization forms and invoices. Now, if you are interested in learning a little bit more about storing client files, I've got a guide I'll be posting in the chat. All right. Now, we've also optimized a few tools within Smart Proposals and Itineraries to help streamline your workflow. Whether it's having Copilot create choices for your clients or previewing item images quickly, we've got you covered with these new tools. I'm also very excited to be sharing a glimpse at something new. So you may be familiar with both our Magic Importer and Copilot tools within Smart Proposals and Itineraries. Our team has been hard at work to make these two tools work together to save you time. Soon, you'll be able to use Magic Importer to upload a supplier itinerary or document, and Copilot will help Magic Importer build out an entire itinerary for you, complete with images, an intro, and more details than previously possible with Magic Importer alone. You can also use Copilot to refine your itinerary upon upload as well, and this feature will be released in the coming weeks, I promise, but it's going to give you a sneak peek now. So I'm going to create a new smart proposal from Jane's Aruba trip using that blue create button and smart proposal. And from here, I'm going to upload a supplier itinerary that's already on my device to the Magic Importer tool here. You can always click to upload the document that you need to, but I'm just going to drag and drop it from the side of my desktop here. And so now that I've uploaded it, you can see over here, Copilot is working hand in hand with Magic Importer to start this process. Now, it could take a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on over to our already created and crafted smart proposal made with the exact same supplier document and using Magic Importer. So as you can see, it's done a beautiful job of importing that information and making it an itinerary that's almost ready to go with just a few moments of time. Another update that we have created for Copilot is the ability to add option sets. So if you need your clients to make a choice of something within the itinerary, you can add those manually or save a little bit of time using Copilot. So what I'll do here is I'll have Copilot add some activity options to our Tuesday. You can see it right here. It's a go at your own pace free day, but if I want to give them a few options there, I'm going to add a prompt to Copilot over on the right-hand side and send it in. And what I've asked Copilot to do is to create an option set within Tuesday with the following options. They can either snorkel adventure in a tugboat wreck, or they can scuba dive a sunken cargo ship. So as you can see over here on the left-hand side, Copilot has already created that option for me. It's within this blue section here. And now I don't have to do that manually. Pretty nifty stuff. Along with this option, you are able to now see your client's choices a lot easier when they approve a smart proposal. So what I will do is I will head on up to our trip and open the smart proposal as if I am the client here. So it should be this one here. Perfect. All right. And you can see up at the top, we are being prompted to make our selections before we approve our smart proposal. So if we head on down to Tuesday and find that option set, we'll be able to choose which one we'd like to go on. So it's either snorkel or scuba dive. I'm going to go with scuba dive. I'm feeling pretty adventurous. I'm going to select that option here. And now that I've made a selection, I can approve my proposal. I can do so up at the top right. And as the client, I'm going to get a little thank you message. We're all familiar with this process, hopefully. And if not, this is a great example of what your clients will see if you haven't seen this part of the smart proposal yet. And if we head back to Jane's trip, you're going to see there's these congratulatory banners in the trip itself, letting you know which option was selected. So giving you a little bit more insight. Again, you're not having to go back into the smart proposal to see what occurred with that choice. It's all available from the trip message feed. And one more thing about those smart proposals is we've added a new tool to make images a lot easier for you and on your eyes. So if you want to review any images that have been added to your items, you just click on that item, head on over to the right-hand side. And before it was a lot of looking at little thumbnails, but you'll notice if you hover over any of these photos, a larger preview is going to appear for you. So now you don't have to kind of guess what is included in that photo. You can just hover over it and see what's going on. Amazing. So much love in the chat. I love it. This is why this is one of my favorite webinars. All right, folks. Next, we're going to talk about invoices. So long gone are the days of needing to manually transcribe or copy and paste the details of a supplier invoice into a TravelJoy invoice. With the Invoice Magic Importer tool, you now get hours back in your day to focus on the more important details of trip planning. So I'm going to create an invoice to show you what I mean. I'm going to make a supplier invoice just for today's example. And instead of having to go in here and add in each of my line items individually, I'm actually just going to take the invoice my supplier provided me from off screen. Again, you can click into Magic Importer and choose any kind of document from your device. But I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop my document. And Magic Importer is going to get to work on importing those details for me. So again, I'm not having to write everything out. I'm not having to go through the process of making sure that the pricing is correct. We've got all that information pulling in using the Magic Importer tool for invoices. And another cool trick that it does, you'll notice here that it is going to match to any of your invoice item templates. So if it notices something that matches a template that you have saved, it's going to say, hey, I've matched it with this hotel default item template. Would you like to use it? And you can either apply that template or you can import your invoice still without that template. It gives you the option to do so. So again, streamlining that work for you. Perfect. And it lets us know what we have imported. We got 3 line items, supplier names, and payment schedule, which is pay in full. We can see those line items up here. Our payment schedule is set. this is pretty much ready to go. I can send it to my client. And we've only been doing this for about, I don't know, 20 seconds. So pretty easy stuff. So that is our biggest updates to the invoices at this time. And we just talked about using the Magic Importer tool for both smart proposals and invoices. And if you liked that, you're going to love this. So the Magic Importer tool can now help you craft a form created outside of TravelJoy instantly within your TravelJoy account. You can also customize your forms further to capture every detail you need by using conditional form logic and page breaks. So let me show you how to do that. Alrighty. So I'm going to head to my form templates. And let's say this is a form I'm creating that I've created on a Google form outside of TravelJoy. I'm going to add a new form to my templates using that add form button at the top right. And you'll notice there's our friend, the Magic Importer. It's just waiting for us here. The cool thing about this form Magic Importer is you can either upload a file. So if you have a screenshot or a PDF of the form you'd like to upload, you can do so using this option, or you can import from a URL. So again, I'm using a Google form for today's example. It's pretty short and sweet, but I'm going to use that form link here to import from URL, and Magic Importer is going to do that work for me. So again, taking that time away from having to manually recreate your forms in TravelJoy is going to save you time. And as you can see, Magic Importer was successful. We've got several things that were imported here. All of my questions, we also have the ability to bring in, line items like if you need text collected from your clients, it's going to notice that and match that within the form builder. And then you'll also notice we have 3 questions linked to client profiles. So if our Magic Importer says, hey, that question looks like it could be used to be stored on your client's profile moving forward, it's going to automatically make that connection for you. Another cool thing that this process does is it's going to allow you to automatically add a credit card authorization. So if your form currently has a credit card authorization portion, Magic Importer is going to notice that, and it's going to add that secure credit card authorization for you. All right, so again, this form is pretty short and sweet. We've got just about 5 questions on here. But let's say if I want to only capture this answer, who referred you, if my client selects referral from this question set of how did you hear about us? How do I accomplish that? I'm going to show you how with conditional form logic. So what conditional form logic does is, again, if my clients decide that they are going to answer this question, how did you hear about us? And they say referral, it's going to show them automatically the next question and gather that information. It's a little hard to explain out loud, but I'll show you and it'll make a little bit more sense. So if I come over here to the right-hand side and grab this conditional logic field and drag and drop it where I want it to go, it's going to go in between these 2 fields. And then I'm going to set it up so that it knows what to do next. So when our client answers the question, how did you hear about us, which we can see in this drop-down menu here, and that question answer equals referral, you can see our answers there, then we are going to have our form show who referred you, our next question. So again, we're keeping it pretty simple. There's a lot of capability this tool has, but I want to make it as simple of an example as possible for you. And you can see down here, we have a hidden tag added to that question where it wasn't before. So this means that this question will be hidden until someone selects referral. So the next thing we're going to do as well, and it's a newer feature too, is going to add a page break to this form. So let's say you have a very, very long form and you want to keep your clients engaged, but you don't want to lose them in scrolling. You can use page breaks, which are just below that conditional logic. Drag and drop it where you want that page break to go. Let's say it's right after phone number here. And your clients will be able to proceed to the next page. So again, it's breaking it up in their minds and on their screen so that they don't feel too overwhelmed and you still get the information that you need. What that ends up looking like is this is a form that already has that exact setup. We're going to capture our client's email, their first name, their last name, and their phone number. And there's that page break for us. So immediately we are able to get that next button, keeping things nice and clean and simple and streamlined. And then we have this one question. How did you hear about us? You'll notice if I click Instagram, nothing else happens. I can submit my form. But if I say referral, that question pops up. I can say something like John Doe referred me. Then I can submit that form. So conditional logic allows you to only capture the information that you need how you need to. And again, I want to make sure that you have all the resources we talk about today. So I'm going to be sharing our Form Magic Importer link in the chat. Queen, I love that. Love this feature. We do too. And then I'll go ahead and share conditional form logic as well. So you have all of these resources to refer to after today. All right, next up, let's talk a little bit about automation. We're going to visit our task list to show you a new way to automate tasks when imported into a trip. You need that email or form to send as soon as that task list is added to a trip? We've got you covered. We're going to start by heading to the Templates tab on the left-hand side and head on down to Task List. And I'm going to head on over to Private. Looks like my account has a little bit of testing going on in it, so it's set up like a team right now. That's all right. So once I'm in my task list, I'm going to head on down to Send Welcome Email. So I'm going to automate this email specifically to be sent as soon as my task list is imported into a trip. So if I click on that task, it's going to have me choose an action. So we're going to send an email. And then I'm going to choose the email template I'd like it to send, which is going to be my welcome email. So this is a brand new client for me. I'm just getting things kicked off, and I want to make sure they have all the information I usually send new clients. So this welcome email will have some further details. And once I've completed that, I'll head to the automation tab with the magic wand, and I'll choose to automate this task on task list import. Once I save that in place, we'll see that magic wand appear like we normally do for automations, and I'll save it. And then I'm going to head back to Jane Doe's Aruba trip to show you how this works. So once I go into my Tasks tab, just at the top there, and choose to import my task list, and we'll do that standard trip because that's where that task that we just automated is, and import. Automatically, at the very bottom, we see that welcome email has a sent status. So that means as soon as we imported that task list, that email sent to our client, and we can see that in the trip message feed. So that makes that automation process just a little bit easier for you and gets those needed details out as quickly as possible. And now we're excited to introduce you to a newer addition to your dashboard, the Marketing tab. Now, you may have already spotted it, and it's designed to bring together the tools you need to promote and continue growing your business with ease. The very first tab we have here is our Email Campaigns tab. Email campaigns can be sent right from your TravelJoy dashboard. And to get started, you'll want to go through the process of connecting your email. Now, unfortunately, I can't complete this process because I have a Gmail. I'd have to have a custom email domain in order to get started with this process. And unfortunately, Captain Kirk's test email is not a custom email. I am a Star Trek fan, though, so it does bring me joy, but it doesn't get us through this process. But once you've completed the setup with your custom email domain and hit that purple next button, you'll be able to connect your DNS settings, and then you can get to the fun part, which is creating your very first email campaign. Now, I've created a demo of this since I can't show you in my account in real time, so you can see what that building process looks like. And just a heads up for our videos that we are showing today, it may be blurry for the first few seconds, but never fear, it does get clearer. Just hang in there. And hopefully you enjoyed this little demo on email campaigns. Once you've connected your email address, you'll be able to build your first email campaign. You'll start by adding a campaign name for tracking, add a subject for your email, and choose which clients will be receiving this email using client tags. Now, the building process is very simple. As you can see, I've created a very, very simple email campaign over here on the left-hand side using these elements that we see here on the right. So I've added a photo, a header, a paragraph, and social icons, as well as buttons to fill out my booking form and visit my website. These can all be dragged and dropped using these elements on the right. And you can even block out your campaign using these tools as well. Once you've completed your email campaign, you can preview it to see what it will look like on desktop, tablet, or phone. And then you can go ahead and send your campaign using the blue button at the top right. Perfect. Now, once sent, you'll also be able to review campaign reporting data, including the status of each campaign, when it was last updated, when it was sent, who received it, and the open success rate, among other things. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about email campaigns, you have a guide coming to you in the chat. All right, next up, let's talk about the inquiry page. You're already seeing it on screen now. This is a new and very fun tool to help ensure that you're capturing those new leads and sharing more about yourself and your agency and your business at the same time. So the inquiry page is going to allow you to add a little biography if you'd like up here at the top. You can see how to edit that using that little blue pencil icon here. You're going to be able to link an inquiry form or the form of your choosing to this inquiry page. List your expertises. So up to 5 expertises can be listed here. A little bit more about yourself or about your business if you'd like, and some featured destinations. There's quite a bit of fun to be had here. Now, once you've edited this page, you can publish it at the top right by using this toggle. And then we can go ahead and open the inquiry page. And this unique URL is going to allow you to share this with anyone that you come across that might be interested in booking with you. So you can share this on socials, you can have this link ready to go. Maybe you connect it to a QR code, put it on a business card. There's a lot you can do here to make this a fun and simple process for you. So this is what the inquiry page looks like out in the wild. We've got a link to that form. Our clients can start the booking process just by clicking on it, and then they get an inquiry form to get you all of the information that you need. And again, it looks very similar to what we saw when we were going through the process of editing it on the left-hand side. And they've got a link to your website, and everything is where it needs to go. So highly recommend checking out this tool if you are interested in sending out an inquiry page. Take a peek at the guide shared in the chat. Now, the next 2 features are not new, but they're in a new spot. They've got a new look. So I wanted to make sure to touch base on them in the marketing tab as well. We've got client opportunities and client reminders. Now, if you're not familiar with client opportunities, they provide you with a nudge in the right direction. Some examples of what you may see here is a notification letting you know that your client, Jane, hasn't booked in over a year, or your other client, Roger, may be due for another ski trip. Opportunities give you a head start on touching base with those clients and getting them ready for their next adventure. So you can see you have a button to start the conversation with Jane right away. And I'm going to share a guide about client opportunities in the chat as well. And as a reminder, you'll have access to this chat tab through the recording that you receive after today's event. So you'll have access to these resources too. And finally, client reminders. So these are going to allow you to send out automated birthday, anniversary, or passport expiration emails. Again, this is not a newer feature. We've had it for a little bit of time, but it's just in a new and shiny place. So you are welcome to use this to streamline your process. Make sure you never miss a birthday again. And if you're interested in learning more, I will have a guide about client reminders in the chat. All right, how's everyone doing? You still with me? These are a ton of different features, so if you're overwhelmed, I completely understand. And I have some bad but good news for you. We have more. So at TravelJoy, we know that working seamlessly with your team is a top priority, and having tools that allow you to accomplish this is important. Now, we've added new functionality to how team templates are shared and what can be shared with your team, as well as how to manage tasks with team members more efficiently. Claire and Devin from our engineering team have created a few demos to walk you through these team improvements. First up, we have Claire, who will be showing you updates on team template sharing.
Hi, my name is Claire. I'm on the engineering team here at TravelJoy, and I am based in Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to share a bit about the updates we've made around templates and the new ways you can share them with your team if you have team members. So say you've already taken the time to make a nice customized team branded template and you want all of your team members to be able to use it. All you have to do is go into templates, click into your private templates tab, find the template you want to share. We're going to look at this custom Bon Voyage email, select the menu and click move to team. Once you confirm, you will immediately see this template in your team tab, and your entire team will see it there as well without your team members having to do a thing. So any new team members that join your team will also have instant access to all the team templates, so they'll be ready to hit the ground running. You can also create a new template directly from this team tab if you want to. So once a template is shared with a team, it will appear under the team section in all of the drop-downs where you go to apply the template. So for example, if we click into a trip and we want to start a message from a template, we can click this template select, and you'll see your private templates first, and then you'll see your team templates at the bottom. And this is the one we just moved to the team, and you can apply it like any other template. An important thing to note is that when a team template is updated, the changes will propagate to everyone on the team. So for example, if I go into a team form template and add a field, that field will now appear anywhere that this form template is being used across your entire team. By default, only the team owner has permission to add, archive, and edit team templates. If the team owner would like to allow all team members to create and edit templates, they can go into their settings under team and find this toggle that says allow team members to create and edit team templates. So if they want this to be true, they can toggle this on. Some of you may want to use a team template but want to customize it further to make it your own, or you don't want to have your templates edited by others. If this is the case, you still have the option to copy the team template to your private tab. So we'll go back to our templates page. And to do this, you click the same menu and you click the copy to private. Once you do this, you'll still see the team version in this tab as well as the templates dropdown where we saw it earlier. But you'll also see the private version that only you can edit. So we'll go back to our private tab, see that we got a copy back of our custom Bon Voyage email. We can make an edit in here, say we want to put something personal in here, save this, and then go back into our trip, into the messages. And as I mentioned, you'll still see the team version of this Bon Voyage email, but you'll also have your own version, and you can see the changes we just made are in there. You're the only one that can edit and use this private version of this template. So in addition to these updates, we've also added the ability for team owners to share past itineraries and proposals with their teams. So to do this, a team owner can go into any trip that has a proposal and share it as a template from the Files tab. So I've got this example Napa Valley trip that I want to share with my team. So I select Share as Template. Once I do that, you'll see this little icon. You can go in here. You'll see this banner indicating that you're editing a team template. And once a team owner has shared a proposal or an itinerary, everyone in the team will see this itinerary when they go to create a new smart proposal from their library. So they can click into their library and you'll already see your own library items, and then you'll see your team library items, which will include these proposal templates. So you can start a proposal just like you would from any of your own past proposals. It'll pull in the shared content and you're good to go. A team owner can also navigate to the itineraries template section. And from here, they can manage their shared itineraries and proposals. They can edit it, they can preview it. They can unshare it if they decide they no longer want their team members using this content. I think that's all I've got for template updates, so thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you, Claire. All right, next up, Devin is going to share how we've added task assignment to your toolbox to collaborate more powerfully.
Hi, I'm Devin from the engineering team, joining you all from Boise, Idaho. I'm excited to give you a quick look at our task assignment feature we launched this year to make managing and collaborating on tasks in TravelJoy a little bit easier. So on both trips and groups under your tasks tab, you will now have the option when editing an existing task or adding a new one to set an assignee. And when you set that assignee, save that task, your collaborator that you've assigned that task to will receive an update email letting them know that they have a new assignment to go check out. And if we quickly switch over to my collaborator's account, we can also see that she can find those tasks that I've assigned to her listed on her task page as well. If she has account access to my account, which is something that you can set under Settings Team, when clicking the link, she can navigate directly to the trip associated with that task and hopefully complete the task that's been assigned to her. Additionally, If you know who's working on what and people on your team typically take care of the same tasks every time, you can also set assignments on your task list templates, and those are reusable. So here we have a task list template, and on this final item, I am going to update the assignee to be Rumi. And now when I go to a new trip and I import that task list, you'll see that those assignments are maintained. And again, she will also receive an email letting her know that a block of tasks have been assigned, and that with a link to that existing trip as well. And on this particular page, if there's no assignee, the default is that tasks are assigned to their task owner. So that's me in this case. And that's how we had that template set up. And finally, last thing to see here really is you can always see all of this information kind of higher level from your tasks page. So I can see what I've assigned to Rumi. I can filter down to only tasks that are assigned to Rumi. I can still search, and if I search ones with her name, those will show up. So just a few more features to hopefully make collaborating and task management a little bit smoother.
Thank you, Devin. And I have added guides in the chat for both Claire and Devin's demos if you need them. All right, up next to share how we're enabling even more magic, please welcome back Dio.
All right. Thanks, Caitlin. So many amazing demos. I can't keep up. But believe it or not, we've got more to announce. And what's next is I'm going to talk about how we are building with you, not just for you. So earlier, we talked about my mom and how she turned around this trip for my marching band. And everything you saw today, from the dozens of ways that we're cutting that busy work, shares one thread with what she did in that year. Less busy work, more travel magic. And so I want to spend a few minutes on where we're headed next. And when we say building with you, not just for you, we want to bring you in as early in the process as possible. And we talked about this in our December webinar, where we said, we're going to show up, we're going to show our work, we're going to bring you into the process. And so in that aim, I'm going to be highlighting some of our priorities on the roadmap and actually invite you to participate in some of the beta tests that are kicking off for those priorities today. First up, let's talk about partnerships. So our first booking integrations many years ago, some of them even 5 years ago, worked well for independent advisors, but they put the burden on hosted advisors to figure out how to report, how to split those commissions with their hosts. Some of you had even wondered whether TravelJoy was trying to become a host agency. And to be clear, we are not. What we're focused on is partnering with host agencies and the best suppliers so TravelJoy works seamlessly for all advisors. These partnerships, whether a host agency or supplier, work hand in hand. On the supplier side, we've actually relaunched our partnership with Faye earlier this year to work for hosted advisors and leverage their host agency's IATA number. That means advisors who are with our partner host agencies can offer Faye insurance directly in TravelJoy with the sales and commissions routed directly through your host agency, just as they always do. TravelJoy is not involved in the commissions flow. We're excited to announce that we also just signed with Arch Roamright to do the exact same thing. And we are in talks with many more supplier partners to do this, not just for travel insurance, but for every category that you work with for your clients. And on the host agency side, we've partnered with amazing hosts like TPI, GTN, and we're in many talks, active talks with others around how we can provide deeper integrations, whether that's booking, whether that's enhanced AI that's specialized to how you and your host operate, whether that's back-end integrations, specialized training, and more. And just yesterday, we did a webinar with travel experts explaining how to take advantage of our new Faye integration. And a few weeks ago, we did similar trainings with GTN and TPI. So we want to build these partnerships with you. So in a few seconds, we're going to be dropping a link into the chat to fill out a form of your host agency, if we're not yet partnered, or your favorite suppliers that you'd love to see in the platform. And so we'll follow up with you within the next 2 weeks on the progress on those and get more of your insight around that. All right, next up, a topic that is near and dear to many of the agency owners on TravelJoy is commission reconciliation and reporting. And we've been chatting with a lot of our agency owners about this. We've heard from many of you about the need to have external spreadsheets or the fear that you just might be missing something when it comes to payroll. We hear you, and we are actively investing here to make those fears a thing of the past. It's complex. And so we want to build the right thing, not just the fastest thing. We know we typically move pretty fast, but when it comes to this money flow and payroll, we want to make sure we're getting that right. So we're opening a beta for agency owners who want to shape this with us. In fact, we've already been communicating with many of you, sharing prototypes, getting your feedback. And so if you're an agency owner with this pain point and want to help shape this with us, please sign up and we'll bring you early into those conversations. All right, I want to take a minute to address payments next. And we've heard lots of frustration. We read every single email and concern from many of you. Why is TravelJoy holding my money? We hear you and we are working on it. To share some context, we facilitate billions of dollars in payments every year. And at our scale, the platform can unfortunately attract some bad actors who try to game the system. So naturally, we have to invest in measures to protect everyone on the platform. And that caution has sometimes meant delays for advisors who are doing everything right. This is a hard problem, and we don't want to rush the solution, and I don't have a feature to show you today. But what I have is this. If you have been struggling with payments or experiencing friction with payments on TravelJoy, we want to hear from you directly. Someone from our team, not a marketing email, not an AI bot, a real person, will reach out about your specific situation within the next 2 weeks, and we will figure this out together. We will also be including a sign-up form, including the betas that we just listed to have these discussions around payments. Okay, next up is AI. And you already saw what Copilot can do for proposals and itineraries. You saw what Magic Importer can do for invoices and forms. And that is just the beginning. We are investing heavily in AI. Every piece of work that doesn't require your judgment, your taste, your relationships, that is busy work that TravelJoy should be handling for you. And hopefully this goes without saying, the goal is never to replace your magic. It's to build the Iron Man suit for every travel advisor. So thinking about all of the things that we just chatted about, AI investments, partnerships, payments work, every one of those dozens of demos we showed you today is in service of one belief. An advisor should be able to make 200 magical trips in the same time that it takes to do 20. Not by working harder, by having tools that handle everything else so that you can focus on the part only you can do, creating travel magic. And you know how these webinars go. I like to go rogue. And so, in fact, we've got one more thing to show you, and that is Magic Email. The very best travel advisors have always made magic, but they've been forced to spend hours on the busy work around it, copying details from email, chasing confirmations, switching tabs. Well, what if your inbox could do that for you? I'm excited to introduce Magic Email. And so in the spirit of going rogue, I'm going to share a Loom that I recorded just before this webinar. And I'm going to pull that up here. And so what you're going to see is a confirmation that I just got from United. And normally I would create a PDF of this email, open it in TravelJoy, find the right trip, open the proposal, drop it into Magic Importer, which is great, or copy and paste into Copilot. But instead, I'm just going to forward this email to magic@traveljoy.com. So I scroll down, I click the forward button, and seconds later, you'll see that this email gets sent, and I'm going to get an acknowledgement from TravelJoy that the email's been received. And what's great is you see it pop in right into the thread of the original United email. A few seconds after that, the import is done. It'll tell us what is imported, that it's found the right trip, that it's actually found the right proposal on that trip. And we can open it up right from the email and see that flight from SFO to San Francisco with the live flight tracking and the section created right on the right day, in the right trip. No copy paste, no busy work, just forward to magic@traveljoy.com and we will take care of the rest. So your inbox has just become your itinerary builder. And this is just the beginning. Our vision is to extend this well beyond itineraries. Imagine forwarding client call notes that Copilot can use to personalize the itinerary. Imagine forwarding supplier commission statements that kick off the reconciliation process. Imagine forwarding DMC quotes that Magic Importer can pull and create invoices. So we'd love to hear what you would like to forward to Magic email and build this with you. We know we've sent a lot of sign-up forms, but here's one more. So we'll be sharing a sign-up form for beta access in the chat. So if you're interested, please sign up. We will be in touch within the next 2 weeks. And this is what we're building. Thank you so much for being on this ride with us. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. Back to you, Kayla.
Thank you, Tayo. So much excitement about that. We are so excited as well. And yes, so many exciting enhancements ahead. And I can't say enough how much we value the feedback and involvement of our advisor community in everything that we do. Another thing we've heard from you is that you wanted more deep dives and training on the TravelJoy platform. So I'm excited to introduce you to a new addition this year, our workshop webinar series. This weekly series focuses on some of the most popular and impactful areas of TravelJoy, giving you a deeper, more hands-on look at the tools you use every day. And now I'll hand it on over to my fellow Joymaker, Heather, to share more.
Thank you, Caitlin. Hello, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly with some new media. All right. Hello. My name is Heather. I am based just outside of Detroit, Michigan, and I'm one of the Joy Makers here at TravelJoy. Before we wrap up, I want to share something we're really excited about, and honestly, something that came straight from your feedback. In the past, we've heard from a lot of you that you wanted more focused training on specific topics. You weren't just looking for a general overview of the platform. You wanted to really dig into the features that you use most, get into the details, and walk away with something that you could actually put to work that same day. We listened, and in 2026, we made it happen. We're happy to introduce the weekly workshop webinars. Think of these as your dedicated, distraction-free time to go deep on one topic at a time. Every Thursday afternoon, we go live for a focused 30-minute session covering one of your most used features. We rotate through popular topics like group management, payments, templates, and other hot topics that come up again and again from advisors just like you. Whether you've been with TravelJoy for years or are just getting started, each session is designed to give you clear, actionable tips you can start using immediately. No fluff, just the good stuff in TravelJoy. You'll also have the chance to ask questions live and get answers on screen in real time, straight from our team. So if there's something you've always wondered about or a workflow that you want to improve, this is the place to do it. If you can't make it live, no worries at all. You can register anyway, and we will send you the recording straight to your inbox so you can watch it on your own time. We are going to be dropping the registration link in the chat in just a moment. We really hope to see you there, and we can't wait to keep building these sessions around what matters the most to you. Feel free to reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com if you'd ever like to suggest a topic that you want to see covered in the workshop rotation. And with that, I will pass it back over to Caitlin.
Thank you, Heather. All right, so before we wind things down, I wanted to take a peek at some of the submitted questions in the questions tab to see if we can answer a few of those live. So one of the first questions that we saw was, how do you delete more than one photo at a time within a smart proposal or an itinerary? And this is a great question. I saw it was asked a couple of times. So let me share my screen and I can show you how to do that. So we saw the ability to hover over the photos and preview them. And a feature that you may not have known came out a few months ago. Let me go ahead and there we go. is the ability to delete multiple pictures at once. So I have this item here, the Stay at the Hyatt Regency, open on the right-hand side. And as you can see, we've got a lot of pictures. So if I wanted to select multiple pictures to be deleted, let's go ahead and say we have this row here that we'd like to not include. You'll notice there's almost like a blue overcast to these photos that I click on them. So that's highlighting them. And we can see down here at the bottom, there's a delete 5 images button. So it'll keep track of the amount of images that you are clicking on. And when you select delete them, those 5 images are removed. That's a great question. And again, we saw that a couple of times in the questions tab. So great one to highlight live. The next question is there an easy way to build the invoice based on the smart proposal? And boy, is there. You actually can accept payments directly through a smart proposal, whether that's a direct payment or a credit card authorization. So you can do this by heading to the Settings tab on your smart proposal. And you're going to locate the Pricing tab just to the right of the Overview tab over here. From there, you can add in your total price and deposit, or you can choose to set the price as a sum of items, show itemized pricing if you'd like to. And once the proposal is approved and turned into an itinerary, you can choose to hide the pricing or show the prices. And down here at the bottom, this is where you're going to be able to select if you want to accept a supplier payment or a direct payment. Now, because this has already been approved, I can't change these settings here. This is already an itinerary, but this shows you where that can be updated within a smart proposal. That was a great question. All right, and one more question about conditional logic on forms. Is there a limit on the number of conditional questions you can have in one form? And there is not. So you're able to use those conditional logic questions as much as you'd like to really get the right benefit for you from those forms. All right, folks, we are going to move on to our closing out here. So as we are nearing the end of our scheduled session, I just wanted to share a little bit more about this webinar. Everything we shared today is a part of a bigger mission, bringing the joy back into travel planning. When your workflow is powered by joy, there's less busy work, more connection, and tools that just make your day-to-day a little easier. And as you've seen, so much that comes directly from your feedback. So thank you for continuing to share it with us. Since we weren't able to cover every release from the past few months today, I also want to share the best way to review and stay up to date on everything new we've introduced. The What's New at TravelJoy guide, which I'm going to post in the chat right now. We regularly update this guide, so I recommend bookmarking it and checking back often to see what has been introduced. I also want to close things out by going over our help center and how to get in touch with the TravelJoy team, especially if your question was not answered today or if any questions arise after we conclude. You can access our help center from the dashboard and head down to the help center on the left-hand side. And this will give you access to the hundreds of guides we've created on each feature to help you learn how to use TravelJoy as you go. I'll share this link in the chat. All righty. Next, if our help center doesn't give you the answers that you need, that's quite all right. Our Joymaker team is here to help. You are welcome to start a live chat or submit an email request directly from your dashboard. You may have noticed this little chat button in the bottom right. TJ, our friendly bot, will try to help you with your question first. So we highly recommend putting all of the details of your question in there to see if TJ can help. And if not, TJ will forward those details to our Joymaker team. And if we're available for a live chat, which we typically are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll go ahead and jump on that chat with you. And if we're unavailable, it will convert that chat into an email and we will get back to you as soon as possible. And speaking of emails, you can always email our team at hello@traveljoy.com. That is our direct support email. I'll post that in the chat as well. Perfect. Let's see, that was a little funny. Let me see if I can make that a little bit easier for you. Let's see here. We'll just type it out. It's a little bit easier that way. TravelJoy.com. There we go. All right, so you can always use those resources to go ahead and get in touch with the Joymaker team if needed. All right, thank you all again for joining us today. As mentioned, you will receive a recording of today's session by email about 5 minutes after the session comes to a close. I do think I speak on behalf of the entire team in saying that these new features would not be possible without you and your feedback. So please, please keep it coming. Your suggestions are always welcome, and do not hesitate to share them with us by using the blue chat button or by emailing us at hello@traveljoy.com. At this time, I'd like to ask any attending TravelJoy team members to join the stage for a quick wave goodbye so you can see some of the faces behind the scenes of TravelJoy. Hello. All right. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.